Okay, so for this problem, I've set up my long division. The big thing that you need to see here is that when I write it out down here, I had to replace my missing term with a 0. So for this situation, my powers went 4, 3, 1, 0. So when I came down here and put it inside that little house, I had to make sure that I put a 2 in here. So it goes 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and I'm good. So that 0 is a placeholder. If I don't do that, it messes up the problem and it starts to look like you are not lining up your terms. Okay, so for the first step, I gotta look at these terms right here. I want to figure out what times x squared gives me 2x to the 4th. Well, that would be 2x squared. Okay, because 2 times 1 gives me 2, x squared times x squared gives me x to the 4th. So once I do that, I'm going to take this and multiply it all the way through to get this row that's going to come underneath here, just like in long division in grade school. So I've got 2x squared times x squared, that gives me a 2x to the 4th. 2x squared times 2x, that gives me a 4x to the 3rd. 2x squared times negative 1, that gives me a negative 2x squared. I draw my line and I subtract. When I subtract, I need to make sure that this subtraction symbol hits every single term that's happening behind it. That's what makes these cancel, which is what I wanted. So if that's not happening right here, that means something went wrong. So now I've got 1x to the 3rd minus 4x to the 3rd. That's going to give me a negative 3x to the 3rd. And then I've got 0x squared plus 2x squared, because a minus and a minus make a plus. That's going to give me a positive 2x squared. So if I didn't put this 0x squared here, this negative x would be here, and things would not have lined up so nicely for me. And I put my minus x and my minus 2, so I'm carrying these down right now. Now, I've got to figure out what times x squared gives me negative 3x to the 3rd. Well, that would be a negative 3x. So if I want to go back and check, a negative 3 times 1 gives me a negative 3. An x times x squared gives me an x to the 3rd, so it's really good. Now I'm going to take this and multiply it all the way through right here. When I do that, it's going to give me a negative 3x to the 3rd minus 6x squared plus 3x. Draw my line, and remember I'm subtracting. Okay, that's what's making these cancel. That's going to give me a 2x squared plus 6x squared. And then that's going to give me a negative x minus 3x. So be careful here. This is like I've got negative $1 and I went out and spent 3 more. Okay, so that's going to give me a negative 4x. And I can carry down this minus 2 again. Now I got to figure out what times x squared. So again, I'm looking at this one, then I'm looking at this one. What times x squared would give me 8x squared? Well, an 8. So just to check, 8 times x squared, yep, that gives me 8x squared. So I'm going to take that and multiply that all the way through over here. That's going to give me an 8x squared